Hey everyone. So I want to talk about this report from Seattle, and they seem to think that Canadians are starting to make a turn. And when I say turn, it means like more Canadians going south to visit their city. And they're basically pointing out that the past like 3 months has gone up a little bit. Remember how I said that the U.S. media and the tourism officials they see a slight increase and they're going to run with it. And they're basically saying that Canadians like us again, and they're going to come down and they're going to spend their money. Yay! I mean, it seems like they almost forgot that they hosted a World Cup, and they think that Canadians are actually like going for their city. And any international tourists or even Canadians that went to Seattle for the World Cup, they were there for the World Cup. And that's pretty much it. But we have to be reminded that Seattle is just like any other city in the United States. And what I mean by that, shootings can happen anywhere. And over the past few days, there was a shooting in Seattle. And this one, I mean, it kind of hits home for me a little bit because I used to visit Seattle like more than I should have. But it's a good reminder that anywhere south of our border, this could happen. And our good friend of the channel, Josh, was actually in Seattle. I watched his video and he wasn't there at the time. I think he said he was there a day before. But I highly recommend everyone go watch his video because he does rant about the whole gun violence thing. So check out his video. Also, since I'm only doing one video a day, unless it's like really urgent, I'm going to talk about the Gordie Howe Bridge opening as well. So let's jump into it right away because I'm trying to cram two topics in this one video. Let's start with the one out of Seattle.
Seattle is expecting a slight boost in the number of Canadian visitors this year, though hotels are working to attract even more. New data from Visit Seattle shows the projections as the Emerald City recovers from a drop in the number of international travelers in 2025. KOMO's Jackie Kent spoke with hotels about how their business has changed. Jackie.
Now, before we get started, I want to remind everybody that Seattle was a host city for the World Cup. And there were tourists that did go because they wanted to watch the games. But I kind of feel, I mean, this is just my opinion, but I feel that these tourism officials and the hotel people and stuff like that, they're riding off the wave of the World Cup and believing that things are going to turn around when the World Cup wave was just a World Cup wave. I hope I make sense on that. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, the sentiment of Canadians towards the United States has not changed. In fact, it's probably gotten worse. But the demographic that they're trying to attract back to Seattle, I consider myself one of them because I used to visit there, like, way too much. So I can safely say none of their deals or enticements or anything are going to attract me back to go to Seattle. But throughout this report, just remember, Seattle had a World Cup wave. And when they're talking about like numbers going up and things looking positive, just remember that wave.
Well, Molly, the general managers of hotels from downtown to Belltown tell me they do see an uptick in business from the busy summer cruise season, from concerts and baseball games. Still, they are playing catch up from visitor numbers from 2 years ago. On the heels of the FIFA World Cup and a recent home series between the Mariners and Blue Jays, the State Hotel near the Seattle waterfront is eager to welcome more Canadian visitors.
They're our biggest international community, and we like to go up there. They like to come here.
Correction, we used to like going there. I really don't like it when they assume that, we're still the same Canadians as they remember before. The ones that loyally crossed the border and spent our hard-earned funny-looking money in your stores or your hotels. And Canadians will just continue going to your city and ignore what's going on right now politically. So in a sense, I find it a little bit insulting that you still feel that we love coming to your city.
Friends Tyrus and Evan made their first cross-border trip to Seattle from Vancouver for an Evanescence concert, and they say they'll be back.
It's very clean. People seem nice. Space Needle looks cool.
It's been decent so far. Probably, yeah, we'll come back.
Okay, so if you're interviewing people from Vancouver in Seattle, of course they're going to say they're going to come back. But why don't you, the KOMO News 4 people, why don't you cross the border north and ask Canadians if they're going to go to Seattle? I'm pretty sure you're going to get a different answer. This kind of reminds me of that report I did a long time ago, in the early days of my channel. It was out of Palm Springs, and they were interviewing people that were coming off the plane from, like, Canada. And it kind of changed the narrative of the story, where it appeared that Canadians had no problems with the United States. But, like I said, of course they're going to say that. They're landing in your country. So, KOMO News, I would love for you to go to Vancouver, Canada, and ask that question to the locals in Vancouver if they're going to go to Seattle. And I'm positive you're going to get different answers. But then again, that won't fit the narrative of their story.
This forecast from Visit Seattle shows an expected 12% increase in Canadian visitation from 2025 to 2026. The organization reports the drop in visits last year was largely offset by an increase in domestic visitors, with overall visitation largely flat year over year. How does that affect your bottom line?
Pretty tremendously. We might look at more staycations. We might look to market more towards cruisers. It just really changes the dynamics of our business.
Okay, there's something wrong here because the tourism officials are saying that they're having like a 12% increase, or they're forecasting a 12% increase. Was it 12? I can't remember. Anyways, one side's saying that they're having an increase, and this hotel person is struggling to like get people to book at her hotel, and she has to like resort to cruisers and staycations. I mean, if there was an increase, I would assume that you wouldn't have to like resort to other marketing methods to try to like get your rooms booked. Just something I noticed. Let me know in the comments if you kind of noticed this as well.
In Belltown, Travelodge General Manager Chris Tudor reports up to 10% of their summer occupancy is from Canada, down from 2024, in part because of political tensions at the federal level like President Trump's tariffs. But now some positive trends.
This year, if you just walk through our parking lot, you could see noticeably all the different provinces that came down for the game.
The number of Canadian visitors to the State Hotel is on par with last year's numbers. But GM Ann Johnson says she's hoping to bring people back by offering occasional cross-border discounts.
We'll continue to nurture that relationship and hope that things change for the future.
So the State Hotel is on par with bookings from last year, despite having the World Cup in their city this year. I mean, I would have expected at least a slight increase because of the World Cup. But if they're on par to last year, and last year was a horrible year for them, I don't see where this 12% that the tourism officials are saying, where's this coming from? Does anyone else see the discrepancy, or am I the only one? Let me know in the comments below.
And Visit Seattle reports last year there were 1.1 million Canadians that visited Seattle, spending an estimated $377 million. That is a 36% drop in visitor numbers and spending when compared to 2024. It will be a while before we know this year's numbers, but again, it is a slight increase from last year, so we are heading in the right direction. For now, live in Belltown, Jackie Kent, Come On News.
You know, growing up in Vancouver, we had the U.S. news stations in Seattle on our TV. I mean, we had King 5, Cairo, Fox. Those were all in rotation for watching TV when I was a kid. And to be honest, growing up, I probably know Seattle just as much as I know the news in Vancouver. But now that I'm a grown-up, okay, I don't know about that one. But what I was trying to say is that the news out of Seattle, I don't want to say it's disgusting, I just want to say it's disappointing. And I know it's not just in Seattle, it's the whole country. But this report fails to get the sentiment from Canadians. Yeah, you got 2 Canadians that went down for an Evanescence concert, but what about the Canadians that are actually in Canada? I'm going to guess that they're going to be too chicken shit to cross the border north and get some feedback from Canadians north of the border. Because I know many US citizens that actually watch my videos have told me that what they hear on the news or their local news in their state shows a complete different sentiment to what actually real Canadians are feeling. So this report out of Seattle, I mean, I take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, they claim 12%, but then you got a hotel person saying that they're struggling and scrounging up ideas to get like cruisers and staycationers to stay with them. You wouldn't be scrounging for those kind of ideas if things were okay. So I'm really curious to see what the last half of July, August, and even parts of September, what it looks like for Seattle. Because that's when reality is going to hit, and they won't have the World Cup to hide behind. But for this Canadian here that used to frequent Seattle more than I should have, and I've actually stayed at this travel lodge that's in the background. I don't know why they keep using it, but I stayed here a few times. It's not that great. But as a Canadian that used to visit Seattle a lot, I can confirm that none of your deals or enticements or dollar at par discounts are going to sway me. So if you're from Vancouver or the Lower Mainland, or you did visit Seattle, let me know in the comments below. Do you share the same sentiment as me? Or will you be going back eventually? Let me know in the comments below. Now, moving on to the Gordie Howe Bridge. It's finally open. And surprisingly, Taco Tuesday didn't make it about himself. He was in Michigan, apparently. Oh, the co-host is here. I think you guys can all hear. Nice of you to show up for work. Anyways, I thought I should at least talk a little bit about the Gordie Howe Bridge opening. So let's get into it.
At long last, the first passenger vehicle crossed the Gordie Howe International Bridge between Michigan and Ontario, marking its official opening. The driver, the grandson of the iconic Canadian hockey player, who is also named Gordie Howe.
It feels historic. It feels like personally a memory that we will treasure.
I didn't know his grandson was also named Gordie. That must be pretty cool, seeing a bridge and like your name's there. Well, honoring your grandpa, but still, it's your name. But I'm very glad that the Howe family was able to be the first ones to cross the bridge. And that it wasn't that orange deflated whoopee cushion that decided to make it about himself so he could be the first one to cross. I mean, hey, we all know that's something he would do.
A similar feeling for many in Windsor, Ontario, who have waited more than 20 years for this bridge and finally got to drive the span.
It feels unreal. I was hoping I'd live long enough to see it. And
here we are. We're going to drop dead tonight.
it'll be okay. Mission accomplished.
I think someone needs to check in on these guys tomorrow. Who would have thought that when the construction started for this bridge, we would have had all of this controversy that we're going through right now? But my gut is telling me that the controversy that's, surrounds this bridge, I don't think it's over yet. And I'll give my thoughts on this when the segment ends.
Political tension between Canada and the U.S. delayed the planned opening last month and created uncertainty over whether the $6.4 billion structure would ever actually open to traffic. Canada paid for it but shares ownership with Michigan. American officials were uninvited from Canada's event on Friday, marking the milestone after Donald Trump threatened to impose new 50% tariffs on Canada. But some politicians, like Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, still marked the opening by driving across the bridge Monday.
Well, I guess it's better that it's Gretchen Whitmer versus Taco Tuesday. I don't know much about her, though, but she hasn't been in the news very much when it comes to, cross-border stuff. But I'm actually curious what the sentiment is from those in Windsor right now. Are you happy that the bridge is open? Because from what I read, it'll reduce the amount of truck traffic in the city. So, I guess that is a positive. So if you're from the Windsor area, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below.
Hundreds of billions of dollars in trade cross this border every year.
So there's significant savings.
Some in the trucking industry say this new crossing with a direct highway-to-highway connection between the 401 and I-75 will be better for business compared to the nearby privately owned Ambassador Bridge.
When you take into reduced toll rates, driving times, fuel, it's anywhere between $10,000 and $100,000 a month for a trucking company.
The Gordie Howe Bridge, which opens to pedestrians and cyclists August 5th, is yet another physical link between two nations whose long friendship is being tested.
Now, I said earlier that my gut is telling me that the drama with this bridge, I don't think it's over yet. Because the bridge is open now. That was the first roadblock for the billionaire. We all know that he doesn't like this bridge, and he doesn't want it open. But now that it's open, the biggest question I have is how much revenue is the Ambassador Bridge going to lose? And if it starts to lose a lot of revenue, will this billionaire send another $1 million to the Trump administration? Now, I'm just speculating here, but we all know the pattern, and we all know what these guys will go through to line their pockets as well as make things difficult. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think the drama with the bridge is over, or do you think it's going to continue? Post your thoughts in the comments below. Closing out this video, I would like to thank Salvimoth from our Discord server for posting this photo of Calgary, Alberta. I kind of realized over the year that I haven't had many photos from Calgary, so I really appreciate you posting this in the Discord server. Now, a message to the GTL community, because I know most of the casual viewers probably clicked off a long time ago. But I really want to thank you for the support and the work that I do. I can't thank everyone enough. You know the story. I felt defeated, and I posted up my video explaining what happened, and I really underestimated the support that I have. So I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I really want to thank everybody that has supported me and encouraged me to keep going, because my videos are the first one that you watch in the morning. And for everybody that has contributed to my Buy Me a Coffee, it's humbling. And I wish I could go through all the comments and reply one by one, but there's just so many of them. So again, I just really want to thank everyone. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank everybody that's contributed and encouraged me to continue. So you can count on me to continue making videos. All right, Evan, that's all I got for this one. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international point of view without the US media bias, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you'll be notified of my future videos. And don't forget to hit the bell icon and select all as well. Now, if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that are going to show up on your screen shortly. Thanks, everyone. I'll catch you in the next one.